Okay, today I'm going to be trying a few different things. Um, Hopefully, at least one of them will be semi-successful or successful. Um, but first, I'm trying to get these thermocouples for the exhaust gas temperature, get them plumbed into the exhaust manifold. Now, because of the design, and this is a Kraken high mount exhaust, because of the design of these, it's kind of hard to get the thermocouple taps into the top side. So I'm going to elect, rightly or wrongly, to come in from the bottom. I have more space to work with and a flatter surface to deal with. So that's the plan. We'll see how well it works. Okay, here's the thermocouple. This is the bung and the 1/8 MPT tab, or I'm not going to use the bung. I'm going to tap that's interesting. Okay, that's a compression fitting. I'm going to tap directly into the manifold. So, wish me luck. MPT threads are supposed to be self-sealing, but just as an extra precaution, I'm going to be using this. And it's supposed to be a high temperature for high temperature applications. So I just put a dab on the threads. Run it in. Dab. And dab. And the thermocouples themselves are secured by compression fittings. And I'm not going to tighten these all the way down. Not yet. I'm basically just putting them on there so I don't lose the compression fitting, which I have a tendency to end up losing things, misplacing things, etc. So, whoops, like that. Here is the Miata oil pan. Yes, it's a little grungy, but I'll get that cleaned up before it goes back into the car or onto the engine. But the reason for it being here today is that the stock Miata oil pan has this cover, and the oil pickup lives down in here, which in stock form is fine, gets the job done, blah blah blah. But if you're putting heavy G-forces into the car, then when you stop, this is the back of the pan, this is the front of the pan. Heavy G-forces, the oil will tend to slosh forward in the pan away from the pickup, and you get oil starvation. Now, what I've had in the car for the past few years is this, oops, goes this way, is this plate. Get it right. Is this plate, which fits underneath the stock baffle, and as you can see, let me scoot this back a little. As you can see, there's less of a gap up front here. There's less of a gap here, so the oil has less of a tendency to slosh forward. Well, that's good, but I'm taking it another step. And I've got this piece. I'll show you where I got it from. I don't remember. Well, there it is, right there. You may or may not be able to see that. Circuit Sports. Which does a little bit better job of blocking the tendency of the oil to go sloshing out of the reservoir. But it also has these little dudes here. And let me get this open. So this guy, this guy, and this guy. So these fit under here. This guy fits here. Make sure I get it right. This guy fits there, and this guy fits there. These link together like this. With this plate on top, and the idea is that this forms a more contained cell around the oil pickup tube, so that on deceleration, hard deceleration, the oil stays trapped in this well. And the neat thing about it is these flaps. So let me take this apart. When the oil tries to go forward, it hits this flap and is constrained. It's not allowed to go sloshing out of the well. And then when normal travel happens, these flaps will allow the oil to go back into the reservoir. So this is basically doing a more positive job of keeping the oil constrained in the well. And once again, the oil pickup tube goes down in there. So I think this is a cooler solution. I'm going to be logging oil pressure, and my expectation is that I should see constant oil pressure, or more or less constant oil pressure, under all kinds of situations. So we'll see. We'll see. And of course, all of this is secured down by 5 bolts. So I'll be cleaning up all of this RTV, but I just wanted to show what's going on inside the oil pan, because I think it's a pretty cool solution. If you saw my other oil pan video where I put some inserts, some big certs, into these holes, you'll remember that one of the issues was that this transmission bolt that threads into that hole, it needs to go all the way through. And the big certs are engineered to stop at a certain point, not let the bolt go all the way through. So what I said in that video is, rightly or wrongly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a tap, and here it is. Get a tap and run it through these inserts so that the hole is continuous all the way through. So that's what I'm going to do now. We're going to see if it works. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I'll just leave that in there, and on to the next thing. Okay, what I'm going to do now is another one of my things I'm doing today, and that is I have this. You saw me put in the thermocouple probes into the exhaust manifold, which was great. So this is the conditioner that's going to take those thermocouple values and put them onto a CAN bus. So this what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to put a connector on the end of this that is going to that I'm going to connect up to the mating connector in the car that's going to supply that's going to bring the signals out. So one of these is signal ground, and one is CAN high and one is CAN low, and this is plus or minus 12 volts. So plus 12 volts in ground, I should say, to be fully accurate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a connector on the end of this that's going to make it easier to get this plumbed into the car going forward. Everything I'm doing from now on is I'm trying to make it easier to deal with all of these wires. Easier, neater, blah blah blah. So trimming these all off to a similar length, trying to be as close as possible. There. And I have four wires, so I'm going to use a 4-position connector. And I have my handy dandy kit of Bosch connectors. So here's a 4, and matching 4. So these two make together. This will be the one that's going in the car. I'm sure that there's a convention that says that I'm probably wrong for doing that, but what the hell. I often do things that are not too convention. And I often pay the price for that. So this side is the female side. So I'm bringing out 4 females. Alright. Close this up so they don't run away. Then we're going to strip these wire ends. terminate them. That's a little bit too long. So we're gonna trim that off. Retwist it. And that's better. All right, now that they're terminated, we've got to decide which one goes where. And so I'm going to put the power and ground. No, it goes in this end. Duh. Push them until they click. These are easy because the wires are kind of stiff. These are not going to be so easy because the wires are not very stiff. And they're not going to want to behave. That one went in. This one didn't. There it is. Okay. So now they are in. And so now we will put the little cap on them. There. So that when this mates into that, the weather seal doesn't pull out. And there we have it. And then final piece is I'm going to put this cladding on there. To make it semi-pretty. And there you have it.